Have you ever felt like something is just not right? Like there's an invisible force working against you? It's like you can't shake off that heavy feeling that clouds your thoughts and weighs down your soul. We live in a world filled with distractions, stress, negativity, and yes, spiritual attacks. But what exactly are these attacks and how can we protect ourselves from them? The truth is, these forces exist beyond the visible world, often hiding in plain sight. They target the mind, infiltrate our emotions, and distort our perception of reality. But fear not. There are ways to defend your mind, to protect your mental and spiritual well-being from these unseen forces. It's time to talk about how you can fortify your mind, your emotions, and your soul against these destructive influences. Imagine you are walking through life, carrying the weight of daily challenges, but every step is made harder by invisible forces trying to throw you off course. Every thought, every action, every word you speak is being monitored and attacked by negative spiritual forces. Sounds like something out of a horror movie, doesn't it? But this is the reality we face every day. These attacks come in many forms: depression, confusion, anger, fear, any emotion that destabilizes you. The battle begins with your mind, and if you're not careful, it can easily overwhelm you. That's why it's crucial to understand the nature of these spiritual attacks and how to combat them. The human mind is incredibly powerful. It shapes our reality, influences our choices, and ultimately determines our quality of life. But it's also highly susceptible to external forces, whether we're aware of them or not. And that's the secret weapon of spiritual attacks. They operate in ways that we don't always recognize. Have you ever had a moment when you suddenly felt angry or sad and you couldn't pinpoint why? Or maybe you felt drained, mentally exhausted, as though someone had stolen your energy? These are classic signs that spiritual attacks are taking place. You might not see them, but these forces are there, influencing your thoughts and emotions, often without your consent. It's so easy to overlook these attacks because they don't always come in dramatic, obvious ways. They creep in quietly, slowly, almost unnoticed, until you realize that your thoughts and emotions are no longer under your control. This is when you begin to feel lost, overwhelmed, and stuck. The trick is to recognize these signs early and take action before the attacks can fully infiltrate your mind. So how do we recognize spiritual attacks, and more importantly, how do we protect ourselves from them? Spiritual protection isn't just about avoiding external forces, it's about strengthening the mind, body, and soul from within. It starts with your belief system, your personal power, and your willingness to stand up against negativity. You need to first build a foundation of mental and emotional strength. That means taking care of your mind, feeding it with positive, uplifting thoughts, and surrounding yourself with people who support and encourage you. Your environment plays a massive role in either protecting or attacking your mental space. What you read, what you watch, who you associate with, all of these elements contribute to the strength or vulnerability of your mind. If you expose yourself to constant negativity, your mind will become weak and vulnerable to spiritual attacks. So how do we become more resilient? It starts with awareness. Awareness is your first line of defense. If you're not aware of the potential for spiritual attacks, you can't possibly protect yourself. So pay attention to how you feel. Do you feel more anxious, afraid, or uncertain than usual? Are your thoughts constantly racing, dragging you down into negativity? Are you feeling disconnected from yourself or others? These are all signs that you might be under spiritual attack. But don't panic. Awareness is the first step toward taking control. Once you recognize the symptoms, you can begin to take steps to regain control of your mind and your spiritual health. It's important to understand that spiritual attacks don't just affect our emotions and thoughts. They can also have physical consequences. Have you ever felt physically drained for no reason, or experienced a sudden wave of sickness or fatigue that seemed to come out of nowhere? These are often signs that your spiritual defenses are weak, and you're being attacked on a deeper, more profound level. Spiritual attacks can manifest in physical exhaustion, illness, or a general feeling of being off. When your mind is under attack, it doesn't just stay in the mind, it spreads throughout your body. This is why it's critical to take care of yourself holistically, mind, body, and spirit. One of the most effective ways to protect yourself from spiritual attacks is to ground yourself spiritually. This could mean different things for different people, depending on your personal beliefs. For some, it could involve prayer, meditation, or connecting with nature. For others, it might mean seeking out spiritual guidance or practicing rituals that create a sense of inner peace and strength. Grounding yourself in your spiritual practices helps to fortify your mind against negative influences, providing a sense of balance and protection. It creates a shield around you that protects your energy from outside forces. But protecting your mind from spiritual attacks isn't just about shielding yourself. It's also about being proactive. It's about creating an unshakable foundation of peace, clarity, and purpose in your life. This means setting clear boundaries both with others and with yourself. You must be vigilant about what you allow into your mind, your heart, and your soul. Your thoughts are powerful, they shape your reality, so you must protect your thoughts at all costs. If you allow negativity to take root in your mind, you're inviting spiritual attacks to enter. But when you actively choose to fill your mind with positivity, gratitude, and love, you are actively fighting back against spiritual attacks. Ultimately, the most powerful tool in protecting yourself from spiritual attacks is your own belief in your ability to protect yourself. When you believe that you have the power to guard your mind and spirit, you become untouchable. Spiritual attacks thrive on doubt, fear, and weakness. But when you stand firm in your faith and your personal power, you create an impenetrable shield that no force can break through. This is why your mindset matters more than anything else. You must believe that you are capable of overcoming anything that tries to steal your peace, joy, and well-being. It's time to take control of your mind, your thoughts, and your spiritual health. No longer will you be a passive victim to the invisible forces that seek to drag you down. With awareness, action, and a strong spiritual foundation, you can and will protect yourself from spiritual attacks. Remember, the battle begins in the mind. But with the right tools, mindset, and inner strength, you can emerge victorious. Don't wait for the attacks to overwhelm you. Stand strong, stand vigilant, and protect your mind from spiritual harm. You are more powerful than you think, and it's time to step into that power and reclaim your peace. How many times have you found yourself in a situation where everything feels off, but you can't quite put your finger on why? It's like there's an invisible cloud hovering over your thoughts, blocking out the sunlight of clarity and peace. This is the subtle yet dangerous nature of spiritual attacks. They don't always announce themselves with fireworks or loud dramatic events. No, spiritual attacks are often quiet, like shadows in the corner of your mind, slowly creeping in, eroding your peace one thought at a time. But here's the thing, you don't have to live in the dark, unaware of the danger that surrounds you. You can defend your mind, protect your peace, and take back control. If you learn how to spot the signs early, you can stop these attacks before they ever take root. Imagine your mind is like a fortress. It's built to withstand attacks, to stay strong and intact in the face of life's challenges. But what happens when you neglect that fortress? What happens when you stop reinforcing the walls, or worse, when you leave the gates wide open? That's when negativity, fear, doubt, and spiritual attacks can slip in unnoticed. Just like any fortress, your mind needs regular maintenance, constant care, and protection. Without this, you leave yourself vulnerable to forces beyond your control. But don't worry, the solution lies within you. You are the one who holds the key to strengthening your mind against spiritual invasions. So how do we reinforce this fortress, this mind that we carry with us every single day? The answer starts with vigilance. Spiritual attacks often come in the form of doubt, fear, guilt, or confusion, emotions that cloud our judgment and distort our thinking. When you start feeling overwhelmed, when those negative thoughts start spiraling, that's when you need to act. It's not just about thinking positively, though that certainly helps, but about protecting the quality of your thoughts. Are they feeding your soul, or are they depleting your energy? Are you focusing on gratitude and hope, or are you constantly consumed by what's wrong in your life? Your thoughts are a powerful weapon, and when used correctly, they become your best defense against spiritual attacks. Let's talk about fear for a moment. It's one of the most common tools used in spiritual attacks. Fear is paralyzing. It twists your perception of reality, making everything seem more dangerous than it really is. It makes mountains out of molehills, creating an internal battle that distracts you from the bigger picture. Have you ever felt that paralyzing feeling? That suffocating feeling that creeps up on you and makes you doubt everything. Yourself, your worth, your future? That's fear at work, and when left unchecked, it can hijack your mind and emotion. The key to defeating fear isn't to avoid it, to face it head on and refuse to let it dictate your actions. The next time fear rears its ugly head, remember this. Fear is not a reflection of reality, it's a reflection of your thought. Change the way you think, and you can change the way fear affects you. But how do you change your thinking? The first step is to build awareness of the negative thoughts that arise in your mind. These thoughts don't just come from nowhere. They're often triggered by external events, interactions, or internal insecurities. They may seem harmless at first, but unchecked negative thoughts quickly spiral into full-blown spiritual attacks. Awareness is like the first line of defense. When you start to recognize negative thought patterns, you can take action to counteract them before they gain momentum. That's the key to protecting your mind, recognizing the enemy before it becomes a threat. Once you recognize these negative thoughts, you can replace them with more empowering, uplifting ideas. Thoughts of gratitude, hope, strength, and love will start to rewire your brain, making it more resilient to spiritual attack. Another crucial part of protecting your mind is practicing mental discipline. Just as a muscle grows stronger with regular exercise, your mind becomes more resilient with consistent mental training. This doesn't just mean positive thinking. It means learning to control your thoughts, to take a step back and analyze the thoughts that arise. Are they serving you, or are they draining your energy? Are they moving you forward, or are they keeping you stuck in a cycle of negativity? Mental discipline is the ability to choose your thoughts and not let them control you. When you train your mind to reject negativity and embrace positivity, you create a strong foundation that is impenetrable to spiritual attacks. There's another factor that plays a significant role in spiritual protection: self-compassion. Spiritual attacks thrive on self-doubt and criticism. They feed on your insecurities, making you question your worth and your abilities. But when you show yourself kindness, when you acknowledge your strengths and forgive yourself for your mistakes, you create a shield of self-love that repels negative forces. You are worthy of love, of peace, and of protection. Never forget that. The more compassionate you are with yourself, the harder it is for spiritual attacks to find their way into your life. Self-compassion is like a protective armor for your soul, keeping out the negativity that seeks to diminish your worth. But let's not forget the role of your environment. Just as the people you interact with can either uplift or drain your energy, so too can your surroundings affect your mental and spiritual well-being. Negative energy can be contagious. If you're constantly surrounded by people who criticize, complain, or contribute to your anxiety, your mental fortress will become weaker. So be mindful of the energy you allow into your life. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, who bring out the best in you, and who support your growth. Create an environment that nurtures peace, love, and positivity. The more you create a positive environment, the stronger your mental and spiritual defenses will become. Another critical aspect of spiritual protection is practicing mindfulness and meditation. These tools are incredibly powerful in helping you reconnect with yourself and align your mind, body, and spirit. Meditation helps you clear your mind, letting go of the clutter and negativity that can accumulate over time. It allows you to find inner peace amidst the chaos, grounding yourself in the present moment. Mindfulness teaches you to observe your thoughts without judgment, helping you detach from negative patterns and emotions that may arise. These practices allow you to regain control of your mind and strengthen your spiritual defenses, making it much harder for attacks to take hold. The power of faith cannot be overlooked either. Whether you believe in a higher power, the universe, or a force greater than yourself, faith provides a strong anchor in turbulent times. Faith strengthens your mind and soul, reminding you that you are never alone in this battle. It's easy to feel isolated when you're under attack, but when you have faith, you tap into a higher source of strength that guides and protects you. Faith is a shield that nothing can penetrate, a reminder that you are always supported no matter how hard the journey may seem. Hold fast to your faith, and you will find the strength to stand firm against any spiritual attack that comes your way. As we move forward, let's remember that we are not powerless in this fight. Spiritual attacks may be real, but they do not define us. You are stronger than any force that seeks to weaken you. By reinforcing your mind with awareness, mental discipline, compassion, and a solid foundation of faith and positivity, you create an impenetrable fortress that spiritual attacks cannot breach. Protecting your mind from spiritual harm isn't about avoiding life's challenges. It's about empowering yourself to face them with resilience, strength, and unwavering peace. You have the power to control your thoughts, emotions, and energy. You have the ability to protect your mind from any attack that comes your way. Have you ever experienced moments when you felt like you were being pulled in different directions, as if there were forces beyond your control pushing and pulling at your energy? It's almost like the weight of the world is pressing down on you and you can't escape. It's in those moments that spiritual attacks can seem most powerful, like they have the ability to completely consume you. The emotional and mental turmoil they create can feel overwhelming, leaving you struggling just to breathe, just to hold on. But it's in these moments that you must recognize the strength within you, because you have the power to break free. Spiritual attacks may challenge you, but they can't defeat you unless you let them. The key to overcoming them lies in understanding their origin, recognizing their tactics, and arming yourself with the tools you need to stay strong. No matter what, spiritual attacks often manifest through doubt, confusion, or intense fear. These forces want to convince you that you're powerless, that you're unworthy, that you're broken. But the truth is far different. You are not broken. You are a being of incredible strength and resilience. These attacks prey on your vulnerabilities, your insecurities, and your fears, but they can only take root if you allow them to. When you confront these negative emotions head-on, you disempower them. You take away their ability to control you. The power lies not in avoiding these feelings, but in facing them with courage and determination, knowing that they have no authority over you unless you give them permission. The mind is a battlefield and the enemy is stealthy. It doesn't always strike directly. Sometimes it's a quiet whisper in the back of your mind that tells you you're not enough, that you're not capable, that you don't deserve peace or happiness. That whisper can grow louder and louder until it becomes all-consuming and you start to believe it. But let me tell you this, those voices are lies. They are lies designed to weaken your spirit and erode your sense of self-worth. When you find yourself doubting your abilities or questioning your value, it's time to fight back, challenge those negative thoughts and replace them with truth. You are worthy, you are capable, you are more than enough. Don't let the enemy define your self-worth. You are the creator of your own story, and you have the power to rewrite the narrative whenever you choose. Another insidious tactic of spiritual attacks is the feeling of isolation. Have you ever felt like you were alone in your struggles, that no one understood what you were going through? These feelings of loneliness and disconnection can be deeply painful and are often magnified during times of spiritual attack. When you feel isolated, you become more susceptible to negativity and despair. But the truth is, you are never truly alone. There is always support available to you, whether it's your faith, your loved ones, or your inner strength. Never allow yourself to believe the lie that you are isolated. Reach out for help, connect with those who uplift and support you, and remind yourself that you are part of a greater whole. Isolation only strengthens the attack, but connection brings healing, renewal, and protection. But spiritual attacks don't just come in the form of mental and emotional turmoil. They also seek to invade your physical energy. You may find yourself feeling drained for no apparent reason, lacking motivation or energy, or even physically ill. This is a sign that the attack has moved beyond just the mind and is trying to wear you down physically. You must recognize the importance of physical well-being in your spiritual protection. Your body is the vessel through which you experience life, and if your energy is depleted, your defenses will be weaker. That's why it's essential to take care of your body through proper nutrition, exercise, and rest. Your body and mind are connected, and when you nourish one, you strengthen the other. Protect your energy, and you'll make it much harder for spiritual attacks to take root. Your thoughts are incredibly powerful, but they don't exist in a vacuum. They are influenced by everything around you, from the media you consume, to the people you interact with, to the environment you live in. Negative influences from external sources can make you more vulnerable to spiritual attacks. Think about it. If you're constantly exposed to negative news, toxic relationships, or harmful content, your mind becomes overwhelmed with negativity. This not only leaves you feeling drained, but it also opens the door for spiritual attacks to take hold. To protect yourself, you must become intentional about what you allow into your mind. Be mindful of the people you spend time with, the shows you watch, and the conversations you engage in. Protect your mind from the outside world by consciously surrounding yourself with positivity, inspiration, and support. When you curate your environment, you create a safe space where spiritual attacks are less likely to thrive. As we've discussed, spiritual protection requires both internal and external effort. It's not just about what you think and feel, but also about the environment you create for yourself. A crucial part of this protection is your ability to establish and enforce boundaries. Boundaries aren't just physical, they are mental, emotional, and spiritual. When you set clear boundaries, you protect your energy from being drained by negative influences. It's okay to say no when something doesn't serve you or when someone tries to undermine your peace. Boundaries help you maintain your sense of self and keep spiritual attacks at bay. Establishing boundaries is not selfish. It's an act of self-care, a way of ensuring that you have the energy and mental clarity needed to protect yourself from harmful forces. Now let's address one of the most powerful tools available to you in the fight against spiritual attacks: prayer. Prayer is more than just a religious practice. It's a direct line of communication with the divine, a powerful force that can help you center yourself and protect your spirit. Whether you believe in God, the universe, or a higher power, prayer is an opportunity to surrender your worries, fears, and doubts and ask for strength, guidance, and protection. It is a way of aligning your mind with the divine, reminding yourself that you are not fighting this battle alone. In those moments of spiritual attack, prayer can serve as a shield, a weapon, and a source of peace. When you pray, you invite divine intervention into your life, creating a powerful protective barrier around your mind and soul. In addition to prayer, meditation is another effective tool for spiritual protection. Meditation helps you quiet your mind, reconnect with your inner self, and find peace amidst chaos. It allows you to clear away the clutter of negative thoughts and focus on the present moment. Meditation helps you strengthen your mental fortitude, making it more difficult for spiritual attacks to take root. It also increases your awareness, helping you recognize when an attack is occurring and giving you the tools to counteract it. When you make meditation a regular practice, you are training your mind to stay calm, clear, and focused, no matter what comes your way. This mental discipline is key in defending against spiritual attack. Another powerful way to protect yourself is by connecting with others who share your beliefs and values. There is strength in unity. When you surround yourself with a supportive community, you create a network of protection that shields you from negativity. Being around like-minded individuals who uplift and inspire you can help reinforce your spiritual defenses. You don't have to fight spiritual attacks alone. Find your tribe, your support system, and allow their energy to fortify your own. Together you can rise above the challenges and emerge stronger than before. Unity is a powerful antidote to spiritual isolation, and when you connect with others, you create a collective force that makes spiritual attacks less effective. In the face of spiritual attacks, it's easy to feel powerless, but let me remind you that you are not powerless. You have within you an incredible power to defend your mind and spirit against anything that seeks to harm you. You are not a victim, you are a warrior. With the right tools, mindset, and support, you can overcome any attack that comes your way. Recognize the signs, take action, and protect your mind. With your strength, your faith, and your resilience, no spiritual attack can break you. It's easy to feel overwhelmed when spiritual attacks seem to come from every direction. But here's the thing, the more overwhelmed you feel, the stronger the spiritual attack may be trying to break you down. These attacks aren't random, they are strategic. They want to create chaos in your life, to steal your peace, and to shake your sense of purpose. But the good news is that the more you understand these attacks and prepare yourself for them, the more resilient you become. It's like building immunity to a virus. The more you fortify your defenses, the less likely you are to be affected. So if you've ever felt like the world is closing in, like there's an invisible force constantly trying to pull you under, know that this is the battle you're meant to fight. And with the right mindset and preparation, you will emerge stronger, clearer, and more powerful than ever. One of the first things to understand when facing spiritual attacks is that they often come at the moments when we are most vulnerable. Think about it. During times of transition, uncertainty, or emotional stress, we are more susceptible to negative influences. These are the times when the enemy seeks to capitalize on our weaknesses, trying to invade our minds and hearts. This is why it's crucial to recognize when you're at your most vulnerable and be especially mindful of the thoughts, emotions, and energies you allow into your life during those times. Spiritual attacks don't strike when you're strong. They strike when you're at your lowest, when you feel the most uncertain. The key is to remain aware of your emotional and mental states during these times and take extra steps to protect your peace. One of the most powerful tools to combat spiritual attacks is grounding yourself in your truth. When you know who you are and what you stand for, you become less susceptible to negative forces trying to sway you. Spiritual attacks thrive on confusion and doubt. They want to convince you that you are something you're not, that you're lost, broken, or worthless. But when you stand firm in your identity, when you hold on to your truth and refuse to let outside forces dictate your sense of self, you build a spiritual armor that protects your mind and soul. Who are you? What are your values, your beliefs, your strengths? Grounding yourself in these questions and answers fortifies you against the attack, reminding you that you are whole, you are powerful, and you are not at the mercy of any negative force. Remember, spiritual attacks come to disorient and distract. They will try to get you to question your purpose, your calling, and even your connection to the divine. This is where your faith becomes your anchor. No matter how loud the negative voices become, your faith is the steady, unshakable force that will keep you grounded. Faith isn't just a passive feeling, it's an active choice to trust that there is a higher plan, that there is a purpose behind the pain, and that the light will always prevail over the darkness. When spiritual attacks try to steal your clarity, faith gives you the clarity you need to see through the confusion. It reminds you that you are not alone in this battle, that you are supported by a higher power that will never leave you, no matter how fierce the attack may be. Another essential aspect of protecting your mind from spiritual attacks is focusing on inner peace. Have you ever noticed that when you're at peace within yourself, external forces seem to have less of an impact? When you're grounded, calm, and clear, the storms of life don't throw you off course as easily. But when you're anxious, distracted, or emotionally reactive, those same external forces can have a much greater effect. Spiritual attacks prey on emotional instability. They want to disrupt your peace, your clarity, and your sense of balance. This is why cultivating inner peace is such an important defense strategy. It's not enough to protect yourself from outside forces. You must create a strong foundation of peace within yourself. Practices like meditation, deep breathing, and mindfulness help you maintain this inner peace, even in the face of external chaos. One thing that cannot be overlooked in the fight against spiritual attacks is the power of forgiveness. It's easy to hold on to resentment, anger, and hurt when others wrong you, but holding on to those negative emotions only serves to weaken your mind and spirit. Unforgiveness is like a poison that slowly eats away at your peace. It opens the door for spiritual attacks to take root, making you more vulnerable to negativity. Forgiveness, on the other hand, is an act of spiritual liberation. It releases you from the chains of anger, resentment, and pain, allowing you to reclaim your peace and protect your mind from attack. Forgiveness isn't about condoning the wrongdoing. It's about freeing yourself from its hold on you. It's about choosing to rise above the pain and reclaim your power. In addition to forgiveness, practicing gratitude is one of the most potent ways to protect your mind from spiritual attack. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's wrong to what's right. It pulls you out of the cycle of negativity and reminds you of the blessings, even in the midst of struggle. When you are grateful, you cannot simultaneously be consumed by fear, doubt, or despair. Gratitude creates a shield of positivity that helps to deflect the negative energies trying to invade your mind. The more you practice gratitude, the more you strengthen your spiritual defenses, making it harder for attacks to find a foothold. Try starting each day by listing 3 things you're grateful for. This simple act of appreciation can transform your mindset and protect your peace. Another powerful way to protect your mind from spiritual attacks is by being proactive in filling your life with positivity. This includes surrounding yourself with uplifting people, reading empowering books, watching inspirational content, and engaging in activities that nourish your soul. Spiritual attacks thrive in environments of negativity and fear, so it's important to create a space that promotes healing, growth, and positivity. The energy you surround yourself with has a direct impact on your mental and emotional state. When you choose to engage with positivity and joy, you create an energetic barrier that is difficult for negative forces to penetrate. Sometimes spiritual attacks come from external sources that are beyond your control. In these cases, it's important to remember that you have the power to protect yourself through spiritual tools such as prayer, visualization, and energy shielding. Prayer, as we've already discussed, is a powerful form of spiritual defense, but so is visualization. You can create a mental shield of light or protection around yourself, imagining a barrier that deflects negative energy. Similarly, energy shielding techniques allow you to set boundaries that protect your personal energy field. Visualize yourself surrounded by a bright, protective light that keeps you safe from external attacks. These practices empower you to take control of your spiritual well-being, no matter what forces are trying to affect you. Another key aspect of spiritual protection is the practice of detachment. Spiritual attacks often target our attachments, the things we are most emotionally attached. When we place too much of our identity, our happiness, or our sense of worth in external things, we become vulnerable to attacks. Detachment doesn't mean that you stop caring about the people and things in your life. It simply means that you do not allow them to define you. Your happiness, your peace, and your worth come from within, not from external circumstances. When you detach from unhealthy attachments and attachments to outcomes, you become invincible to the emotional manipulation of spiritual attack. Detach from the things that drain your energy, and attach to your inner peace, purpose, and strength. Finally, let's not forget the power of self-affirmation. In the face of spiritual attacks, when the enemy tries to undermine your confidence and self-worth, affirmations can be a powerful tool to fight back. Speak life into your mind. Remind yourself of your strength, your resilience, and your worth. Every time you repeat an affirmation, you reprogram your subconscious mind to believe in your power. Affirmations act as a spiritual armor, protecting you from the negativity and doubt that spiritual attacks try to plant in your mind. Stand firm in your truth and declare the life, the peace, and the protection you deserve. With each affirmation, you reclaim your power, and with that power, you protect your mind. Spiritual attacks often occur when we least expect them, striking us in our weakest moments or during periods of emotional vulnerability. But one of the greatest weapons in this battle is the ability to recognize that these attacks don't define us. They are not a reflection of our worth, but rather a challenge to our strength. It's so important to remember this. No matter how hard it may seem, these attacks can be overcome. Every challenge we face is an opportunity for growth, an invitation to deepen our connection with ourselves and the divine. When we shift our perspective and see these attacks as opportunities for spiritual refinement, we become more resilient. Spiritual attacks may hurt, but they will never break you unless you allow them to. You are more than capable of standing firm and weathering any storm. One of the most dangerous aspects of spiritual attacks is their ability to isolate you from your inner strength. When under attack, it's easy to feel lost and confused, overwhelmed by feelings of doubt, fear, and inadequacy. But the truth is that you are never as powerless as you might feel in those moments. The power to overcome resides within you, deep inside your soul. The key is to reconnect with that inner power, that unshakable core of strength that has always been there, even when you didn't realize it. Reaching inward for strength, finding your center, and trusting in the resilience that lies within you is essential in overcoming these attacks. You are more powerful than you think, and when you tap into that inner strength, you can weather anything. Another critical factor in defending your mind from spiritual attacks is recognizing the importance of self-awareness. Without awareness, you are more likely to be caught off guard, reacting to spiritual attacks without fully understanding what's happening. Awareness is like a shield that helps you identify when negativity is creeping in, whether in the form of self-doubt, fear, or anxiety. Once you recognize the attack, you can take immediate action to neutralize it before it grows stronger. This is where mindfulness becomes incredibly important. By practicing mindfulness, you become more attuned to your thoughts and feelings, which helps you discern when you're under attack. Mindfulness allows you to stay present and grounded, preventing you from getting swept away by the storm of negativity. When you are self-aware, you're better equipped to defend your mind and protect your spiritual peace. One of the simplest yet most powerful ways to protect yourself from spiritual attacks is by staying grounded in the present moment. Spiritual attacks often rely on distractions and worries about the future or past. The more you ruminate on what's already happened or what might happen, the more vulnerable you become to these attacks. But when you focus on the present moment, you take back your power. Being in the here and now allows you to focus on what you can control, your thoughts, your actions, and your energy. Instead of allowing your mind to be hijacked by fear or regret, focus on what you can do right now to protect your peace. Simple practices like deep breathing, taking a moment to pause and reflect, or practicing gratitude can help you stay centered and calm, even in the midst of chaos. The importance of positive self-talk cannot be overstated in the fight against spiritual attacks. The voices of doubt and negativity may seem loud, but you hold the power to turn down their volume and amplify the voice of truth and love. Your inner dialogue shapes your reality. When you engage in positive self-talk, you reprogram your mind to reject the lies and negativity that spiritual attacks try to plant. Affirmations and kind, encouraging words to yourself can serve as a shield against these attacks. Speak words of power and strength over yourself, reminding yourself that you are capable, worthy, and resilient. When you speak life into your situation, you counteract the negative energy trying to invade your mind. Positive self-talk is a key tool in protecting your mind from spiritual harm. Have you ever experienced those moments when it feels like everything is falling apart? When your mind is consumed by worry and you feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders? This is a prime example of how spiritual attacks can manifest in overwhelming emotional and mental distress. But remember, this is not the end. It's in these moments of emotional chaos that you need to take a step back and reassess. Take a moment to pause, breathe deeply, and ground yourself. It's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of emotions, but you have the power to control your reaction. By practicing mindfulness, taking a breath, and shifting your perspective, you regain control over your thoughts and emotions. You don't have to be a victim to your circumstances. You have the ability to rise above them, to stand firm in your peace, and to protect your mind from the spiritual attack that seeks to overwhelm you. While we've discussed the importance of protecting your mind, let's not forget the value of maintaining strong spiritual practices that connect you to something greater than yourself. Spiritual practices such as prayer, meditation, and worship are powerful tools that create a direct line to the divine and keep you anchored during times of spiritual attack. These practices help you maintain a strong, unshakable connection to your faith, reminding you that you are never alone. When you pray or meditate, you are reinforcing your spiritual armor, asking for divine protection and aligning yourself with a higher power. This connection is a source of incredible strength and peace, and when you rely on it, you become more resilient to spiritual attack. Cultivating these practices daily strengthens your spiritual defenses, making it more difficult for negative forces to penetrate. Energy protection is another critical part of defending your mind from spiritual attacks. Just as we protect our minds and spirits, it's important to protect our energy. Spiritual attacks can drain your energy, leaving you feeling exhausted, disconnected, and depleted. This is why it's so important to engage in practices that restore and protect your energy. Energy healing, cleansing rituals, and visualization techniques can help you clear away negative energy and create an energetic shield of protection. Imagine yourself surrounded by a brilliant protective light that deflects any harmful energy trying to reach you. This light serves as a barrier that keeps you safe and empowered, strengthening your energy field and preventing attacks from weakening your spirit. Physical self-care is just as important in the fight against spiritual attacks as mental and emotional care. Spiritual attacks can manifest as physical exhaustion, headaches, or a sense of being drained. That's why it's so important to take care of your physical health, as it directly impacts your ability to defend your mind and spirit. Exercise, proper nutrition, hydration, and rest all contribute to your overall well-being, making you more resilient to the stress and negativity that spiritual attacks bring. When your body is strong and energized, your mind and spirit are better equipped to handle any external threats. Physical self-care is a foundational element of your protection strategy. Without a healthy body, it's harder to maintain a clear, calm mind and strong spirit. It's essential to recognize the power of community and support in your fight against spiritual attacks. We were not meant to go through life alone. When you feel overwhelmed or under spiritual attack, it's important to reach out to trusted friends, family, or a spiritual community. Support from others helps to bolster your strength, provide perspective, and remind you that you are not alone. Whether it's through shared prayer conversations or simply being in the presence of people who uplift and encourage you, a strong support network can help you stay grounded and focused during times of spiritual challenge. You don't have to face spiritual attacks in isolation. Together we are stronger. Finally, let's talk about the importance of embracing your power. Spiritual attacks are real, but so is your ability to overcome them. You have the strength, wisdom, and resilience to protect your mind, body, and spirit from anything that tries to harm you. Trust in your ability to rise above these attacks. You have been equipped with everything you need to protect yourself. The power to defend your mind is within you. Stand firm in your faith, keep your energy high, surround yourself with positivity, and always remember that no spiritual attack can take away your peace unless you allow it. You are the master of your mind, and with the right mindset, no attack will break. As we reach the end of this journey together, I want to leave you with a powerful reminder. Protecting your mind from spiritual attacks is not a one-time event, it's an ongoing daily commitment. It's a commitment to yourself, to your peace, and to your higher purpose. The more consistently you take steps to safeguard your mind and spirit, the stronger and more resilient you will become. Spiritual attacks may come, but with the right tools, mindset, and practices, they will never defeat you. Instead, they will serve as stepping stones to a stronger, more powerful version of yourself. Every challenge you face, every spiritual attack you encounter is an opportunity for you to rise higher, to deepen your faith, and to grow in strength. Remember, spiritual attacks are not a reflection of your worth. They are not an indication that you are weak or broken. They are simply an attempt to deter you from your path. They want to convince you that you're powerless, that you're unworthy, and that you cannot overcome the challenges in your life. But nothing could be further from the truth. You are powerful, you are worthy. You are capable of facing these attacks head-on and emerging victorious. The key is to recognize that you are not fighting these battles alone. Whether it's your faith, your support system, or your inner strength, you have everything you need to protect your mind and spirit from harm. And the more you remind yourself of this truth, the more equipped you become to rise above any spiritual challenge. One of the most important aspects of spiritual protection is knowing your worth. Spiritual attacks often attempt to convince you that you are unworthy, that you are broken, or that you are not deserving of peace and happiness. But I urge you to reject this lie. Your worth is inherent, unshakable, and divinely ordained. You are worthy of love, peace, and success, no matter what negative forces may try to tell you. Stand firm in this truth. No spiritual attack can change your intrinsic value. The more you embrace your worth, the more you fortify your mind against any attack. You are deserving of the highest levels of protection, peace, and fulfillment. And when you recognize that, you create an impenetrable shield of spiritual strength. As you go forward, I encourage you to create a daily practice that helps protect your mind from spiritual attacks. Whether it's prayer, meditation, journaling, or affirmations, these practices will become your armor in the battle for your peace. The more consistent you are in your spiritual routines, the stronger you will become. It's like any form of training. The more you practice, the more skilled and resilient you become. Establish your practices now and let them be the foundation that keeps you grounded in times of turmoil. Your spiritual defenses are built through consistency, so make it a priority to nurture your spiritual health every day. Another crucial element in protecting your mind is recognizing the power of your words. Words are not just sounds or symbols, they are energy. When you speak, you are releasing energy into the universe that can either uplift or destroy. The words you speak to yourself are especially powerful. If you constantly speak words of doubt, fear, and negativity over yourself, you are inviting those energies into your life. But when you speak words of strength, love, and affirmation, you attract those energies instead. Speak life over yourself, declare your peace, your strength, and your resilience. When you use words of power, you protect your mind and spirit from spiritual attacks. Remember, you create your reality through your words, so speak with intention and let every word be a shield of protection around you. It's also important to address the role of forgiveness in protecting your mind. Spiritual attacks often work through unresolved emotions, especially those tied to anger, resentment, or hurt. When you hold on to unforgiveness, you give negative energy the power to take root in your mind and spirit. Forgiveness doesn't mean condoning the actions of others. It means freeing yourself from the grip of negativity and opening the door to healing. It's a decision to release the pain and choose peace. By practicing forgiveness, you clear away emotional clutter, allowing your mind and spirit to remain strong and protected. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful tools you have in your defense against spiritual attacks. Another key to spiritual protection is the ability to detach from negative emotions and external circumstances. Spiritual attacks often try to provoke emotional reactions that pull you out of your center. They want you to react with fear, anger, or despair. But when you practice detachment, you prevent these negative emotions from taking control of your mind. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It means that you refuse to let external circumstances define your inner peace. By detaching from the drama and negativity around you, you create space for calmness, clarity, and spiritual strength. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are the creator of your own inner peace, and when you embrace detachment, you become untouchable. Now let's talk about something incredibly important. Protecting your energy. Spiritual attacks often aim to drain you of your energy, leaving you feeling depleted and weak. That's why it's so crucial to actively protect and replenish your energy. Surround yourself with positive influences. Engage in activities that lift your spirits and be mindful of the people you allow into your life. Negative people and situations can drain your energy, making it harder for you to stay spiritually strong. Protect your energy as if it were sacred, because it is. Energy is a vital part of your spiritual well-being, and the more you honor and protect it, the more you strengthen your defenses against spiritual attacks. In moments of deep spiritual attack, it's easy to feel like you've lost control. You may feel overwhelmed, lost, or uncertain of how to fight back. But here's the truth: you have more control than you think. The key to regaining control is shifting your focus back to the present moment. Spiritual attacks thrive on fear and uncertainty. They want to distract you from your true power. But when you focus on the here and now, you regain your strength. Take deep breaths, center yourself, and remember that you have the power to control your thoughts, your emotions, and your energy. You are not at the mercy of any attack. When you refocus and center yourself in the present moment, you take back your power. Lastly, remember that you are not alone in this fight. Whether you turn to prayer, meditation, or a supportive community, you are surrounded by resources that can help protect your mind and spirit. You have access to a divine source of strength, a support network of people who care about you, and the inner resilience that has carried you through every challenge. When you recognize this, you realize that no attack can stand against you for long. You are not isolated. You are part of something much greater than yourself, and with this connection, you are invincible. Trust in your strength, in your support system, and in your faith, and no spiritual attack will be able to defeat you.